So now we have a new set of numbers called the complex numbers, and so we're going to want to be able to know how to write them, simplify them, add, subtract, multiply, divide, those types of things. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the equality of complex numbers. So if you have a number a plus bi, and you know that it equals c plus di, well then two things have to happen. If they're going to be equal to each other, then a has to equal c. I'll say then a has to equal c, and b has to equal d. So the real parts have to be equal and the imaginary parts have to be equal. So that's probably not too shocking to think of that, but we do want to mention that that's how it works. Okay, it's called the equality of complex numbers. Now, if you have two complex numbers, a plus bi, and you want to add them together, c plus di, well then you're going to take the real parts and you're going to add those together. So a plus c, whatever that is. And then you're going to take the imaginary parts and you're going to combine those. And so you're going to take actually the coefficients, if you want to think of it that way, and it'll be times I. Okay? But we're going to give you some examples. And subtracting, well, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay. So, but that's the idea. So here's our example. And it's not super complicated really, because it really is kind of like adding like terms. Okay, so here we have 5 minus 11i. And then we're going to add 7 plus 4i. So two complex numbers. They're both written in a plus bi form. But we're going to combine the 5 and the 7. And then we're going to take the negative 11i and the 4i, and we're going to put those together. So here I'm going to have 12. And then I'm going to have minus 7i. That's written in a plus bi form, and we're done. Okay. Notice it's, and it's called standard form. Standard form is a plus bi. Our old book just typed out a plus bi form, but that's standard form. Okay? All right. So hopefully that makes sense. I don't even know if you need to write this step. Just think, okay, 5 and the 7, I'm combining those. The negative 11i and the 4i, that's going to make minus 7i. Okay. So hopefully that makes some sense. Now, we're subtracting. We always have to be careful with subtracting because we're going to distribute that minus sign. So I can kind of take off the parentheses here, and I'm going to think of that as plus 11 and plus 6i. So what we're saying is, okay, what's the negative 5 and 11? What do we get? 6. And then what's the I and the 6i? Well, that will be 7i. And we're done. So adding and subtracting, not too bad. Just think of adding like terms. Okay. Subtracting though, don't forget to distribute that minus sign.